Hello, manifestors. So, this is a video request because a few days ago, or a week or so ago, I posted a post, as I do every day on Instagram. It was a post about assumption. What is an assumption? And someone asked me if I could make a video about this. And it was clear that this person actually didn't fully know what an assumption is. So I'm thinking, oh, well, if one person doesn't know in this community, in this manifesting community, if one person doesn't exactly know what an assumption is, most likely many more don't know either. So that's what we are going to discuss today. What is an assumption and how important your assumptions are when it comes to your manifestation. So please, guys, if you are new here and you're not subscribed yet, subscribe to my channel. It helps the channel. It helps the videos to be seen by people who need to watch those videos. Also like and comment. This also helps the channel to spread about. So my Instagram post that I was referring to is this one. What is an assumption? An assumption is something you believe without question, something you accept to be true, something that you take for granted. Once you have created an assumption, it will manifest in your world on autopilot. So, an assumption is something that you believe without questioning it. You just take it for granted. You take it as truth, regardless of the fact that it is true. And we, as humans, have tons of assumptions that are not necessarily true, but we believe that they are. And why do we believe that they are? Because that's what we were taught from infancy, from before we were born. We have to realize as conscious manifestors that most of the thoughts and beliefs that we walk around with are not even ours. Most of the beliefs that you have today as an adult, and I'm going to assume that you are an adult listening, watching this, most of the thoughts and beliefs that you have today are not even yours. Do you realize that? So whether they are helpful to you or not, whether they are good or not, whether they are true or not, they're not even yours. They are your parents, your grandparents, your teachers, your peers, and society at large. But they're not necessarily your own. And some of those may be helpful, but some of those may be, and most likely are not, helpful at all. But the truth of the matter is that they are assumptions, meaning that they are things you don't even think about, but you take them as true, as this is it, this is how it is. But at the end of the day, they are just assumptions. And the thing is, because an assumption will affect automatically on autopilot 24/7, since we have such and such assumption, so it manifests day and night on autopilot, you don't even have to think about it, you believe that your assumption is true. But it really is just an assumption to start with. For example, a huge assumption that people have in general is that you have to work for money. If you don't work, well, there's no money coming. This is an assumption. I don't care how much you believe it, how much I believe it. It is an assumption. Because there are many people who don't work and who do make money, who do receive money, who do get money. All I have to do is look at myself. Did I always work for the money that I got, whether it was a lot or not a lot? No. Because I remember having the assumption, for example, that I did not want to work hard ever for money because I had a mother who worked very hard, and it actually created, thankfully, the opposite belief in me that, oh my God, if I have to work that much to make that much money or that little money, not that my mother didn't make a reasonable amount of money, but still, she worked a lot. And I didn't want to do that ever. I did not want to work hard for money. Therefore, again, as I looked back into my life to learn more about manifesting, how I manifested personally, how this thing works, something that I'm telling you day and night to do, by the way, right? I'm always telling you to do that. Reverse engineer your life. Analyze how you personally manifest stuff in your life. So when I looked back in my life, I realized, yeah, that assumption that I had, that I don't have to work hard for money, always worked for me. Even when I hated my job, even when I didn't necessarily make good money, the thing is, I never worked hard for money. And when I did work harder, well, apparently I quit the job or I was fired because of my assumption, no, I am not going to work hard for money ever. So that's what an assumption is. It's that huge autopilot that is going to apply in your life when you sleep and when you are awake all the time. So with this in mind, if you have a huge desire of yours, something that you really want, and that somehow you have not manifested yet, you can't seem to be able to manifest it in your physical world, it is because of an assumption that is in the background of all of this. And you are not realizing that your assumption is doing its job on autopilot, and it's actually preventing you from manifesting your desire. For example, recently I got a message from someone, or it was a comment, I think, on my YouTube channel. Someone saying something like, well, I discovered this manifesting community because I wanted to manifest my SP, but I got over him. But I could never really manifest anything or something to that matter. Well, if you have the assumption that this manifesting thing is not true, it's not real, it doesn't work, it's a bunch of BS. If you have that assumption somehow, somewhere, that's what's going to happen for you. You are not going to be able to manifest consciously easily at all because you have created this assumption. If you have the assumption, well, other people can manifest, but not me for so and so reason, that's going to work for you. You are not going to be able to manifest regardless of the amount of success stories that you are going to hear or read. If you have the assumption, it's harder to manifest an SP than it is anything else, and man oh man, are there a lot of people having this assumption. That assumption is going to work for you. You are going to be able to manifest anything under the sun but that SP. A case scenario that I run into a whole lot with my clients is They have the assumption that career and money is easy. Therefore, they have a nice career, they have a nice job, and they make good money. But man, relationships is hard. It's hard to find love. It's hard to manifest my SP. It's hard to have a beautiful relationship. Therefore, that's exactly what they are experiencing in their physical world. They have a nice job, they have money, but they can't seem to be able to manifest a relationship. And the opposite is true too. I also have clients who are telling me, wow, it makes me smile when I see all those people trying to manifest NSP. It's the easiest thing in the world. And in their case, they are contacting me because they have trouble with money and being successful in their career. So we see that all it is in both cases and in all cases, it's the assumption of the person having such an assumption. It is that assumption that is manifesting on autopilot for you. So this is why it's called the law of assumption, right? The law of assumption and not the law of attraction. Because what you assume to be true to you, regardless of the fact that it is true or not, it doesn't matter at all, as a matter of fact, right? Anything that you assume to be true to you, whether it makes sense or not, whether it's true or not, whether it's logical or not, whatever you want to say, whatever you assume to be true to you will be true to you. So the moment you assume that this is harder to manifest than that, well, that's going to be true to you. You know, the law is very simple and it never contradicts you. Whatever you want to believe, it's going to happen to you. Whatever you want to believe, it's going to be true to you. According to this law, which is a law of assumption. Whatever you assume to be true to you, whatever you take for granted, even forgetting that it is an assumption of yours, those are always going to be true to you. They are always going to manifest in such a way in your physical reality. And because of that, because an assumption runs on autopilot and manifests in your life on autopilot, you can change whatever assumption that you have that doesn't serve you. If you need a reminder, this is what Neville said about assumptions. An assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. So, whatever your life looks like right now, in every area of your life, it is because of your assumptions. So if there is a specific area of life that you want to change, well, you have to first become aware of the assumptions that you have that is manifesting that pattern on autopilot in your life. Once you have detected what type of assumptions you have that is manifesting so and so effects in your life, you can change them. Change that assumption. To change an assumption, that's when we use techniques, whether you use affirmations, whether you use imagination, or both of them and more. Whatever works best for you, basically. If you do that over and over, and this is what is called persisting, right? Neville says here, if persisted in, right? An assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. So you have to persist in creating new assumptions over and over until they become your natural assumptions. The moment you do that, the moment it becomes an assumption, whatever it is, you will see that it will start to harden into fact in your life, right? Meaning they will manifest in your life. So here it is again, guys. Remember, an assumption is something you believe without question, something you accept to be true, something you take for granted. And an assumption works in your life on autopilot. So if there is anything that you want to change in your life, if there is any big desire that you want to manifest, and you can't seem to succeed in this, it is because you have right now an assumption or assumptions that are working against you. So you are going to have to change those assumptions so you can manifest whatever it is that you want easily and effortlessly. Because once you have the assumption that match your desire will happen, will manifest very quickly, very easily, and effortlessly. I hope this was helpful, guys. If it was, again, please subscribe, like, comment, and share the video if you can, so more people like you can learn more about the law of assumption and manifesting. Thank you, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.